Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 39 of the Kingdom Disney Infinity and Beyond webcast. I am joined as per usual by Abe in sunny California and Travis in sleepy New York. We had slight technical issues this morning, so we're kind of doing things a little bit differently today. But yes, so we're going to be able to hear Abe, but we can't see him. So I think he's actually still just tucked up in bed with his pajamas on. So
I'm actually completely naked, but
oh, no,
okay.
no, 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 no. It's a child family friendly show, so we don't need to worry
Oh,
about
it's okay. Everybody takes baths naked. It's fine. No, I'm fully clothed. Unfortunately, my computer decided to take the night off, so we'll be talking via your conscious right now.
Yes. All right. So we're joined by Travis this week. So Travis, how's it been? How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, this is great. Is
Great.
what time is it in New York at the minute?
It's currently 2:30 in the morning.
2:30. Awesome. Nice time. So, Travis decided this week to join in with us. We kind of thought we might have seen something a little bit more exciting than we have done this week. We were kind of all hoping for some teaser trailers or some kind of some Disney Infinity 3.0 news, but nope, nothing.
Unless
We did
you're
get a tweet.
Oh
Didn't we get
yes,
a tweet?
yes, saying it's coming soon. Saying
And it said something about May be coming, and May
yes,
was
yeah,
capitalized.
yeah, May. Which is only a few days away from May, aren't we? I can't believe it's nearly into May, and I think everyone expected to have some kind of information. But I think that kind of leads on to we've got a few subjects that we're going to discuss this week. First off, the Disney Cruise Line sort of official information that came through on some exclusive from there. We're going to talk about. There was a projector, a graphic novel. There was an official site update. We had a couple of questions off of Twitter, and we're going to discuss sort of exclusives and location exclusives, etc. for this week's show. So, are you guys ready to roll?
Let's do this.
Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Good Lord, too tired for this crap.
That is the Brit Terminator.
Yeah, yes. I'll be back. Right, so the official Disney Park blog announced this week that there was going to be some new information coming through regarding Disney Infinity. That they've built a whole new room on one of the ships, and there's a huge, great big stand that you can kids can play on. All the figures are going to be there, and more importantly than all of that, they said that there will be like there would be a big screen with interactive with the toy box. And also, this is the key bit. We're a bit more excited. It says here there will be kids visiting the special room found only on the Disney Dream will be able to unlock exclusive Disney Cruise Line content that they will continue to enjoy while playing Disney Infinity at home. What do you guys think? So show that on over to Abe first off.
It's interesting because I mean, how is it? How are you able to try something out on a cruise and then be able to bring it home with you? I honestly don't think it's DLC. If it's DLC, there's going to be something that in the new Infinity where you have to enter like a code in order to download it onto your consoles. Otherwise, unless they're referring to just mobile devices and PC as bring it home, then again that's possible. But otherwise, I'm thinking it's something that gets triggered from the base via kind of like the Magic Band, or it could be finally these things that we've been talking about for months now. That it'd be cool if Disney Infinity released um, exclusive power discs. I'm thinking it could be power disc packs exclusive to the Disney Cruise Line, or or if it is like a DLC code, then it's going to just be limited to your portable devices and PC. Otherwise, I don't see it working on your console if it's not something via Magic Band or Power Disc. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay, Travis?
Well, piggybacking off of what Abe said, I don't think it's going to be anything with a Magic Band.
No.
As it uses the same Magic Band uses the same technology in the Walt Disney World theme parks as the Disney Cruise Line, so it wouldn't be necessarily exclusive to the Disney Cruise Line if it was on the Magic Band.
No.
I'm actually thinking the same thing with Abe, that we're going to see special packs of power discs given out. Now, whether it's a power disc that you have to use at every time, or it's like more like a crystal power disc, where it's like a mini crystal of the ship or something, where you stick that crystal on your base when you get home, and it unlocks just like the playset pieces from 1.0 unlock all the toys from 2.0.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to make it so it could be transferable. There was conversation on Twitter where people were asking, or people were commenting how, it'll be available later. And I mentioned something like it probably is exclusive to the Disney Cruise Line, so it's like an incentive to actually take the cruise. And JV liked it. Now, that doesn't mean confirmation at all, but normally when he likes something, it's pretty good indication that that's where it's going to go.
Well, I'm looking at, say, for example, the Magic Band that we had worked for 1.0 and 2.0. It's an exclusive item that you could only get if you stayed at Walt Disney World, but I think they're starting to roll out Magic Bands to Hawaii and the cruise lines, and they're slowly starting to sort of filter out. So it was exclusive, so if you popped it down, it unlocked a certain number of items. Now, a lot of those items from 1.0, when they moved on to 2.0, became available to everybody. Now, I think with 2.0, you unlock it's a small world building. Didn't seem as good as what we had the previous year because there was only one toy. So it wouldn't surprise me if we went into 3.0 that the small world building became available to everybody, and we have a new unlock for the Magic Band, which I can deal with. I think, and also you can buy Magic Bands pretty easy now. There's so many of them.
Mm. You can buy them online at the Disney Store.
Yeah, and there's a huge market with people selling them and stuff. But and once you've got one, you kind of can unlock stuff in the. I've been to Disney World. I got my band. If it gives me a couple of toys for the next few years, that's perfect. As far as the cruise line goes, I don't think it's going to be maybe as elaborate as maybe we think it could be. I think the crystal idea to unlock certain content and certain toys sounds great. It could just be a card with a chip on it to unlock it. It could, but I'm thinking just power discs, a power disc pack, or something along those lines that is easy, cheap for them to do, and that's kind of where I'm thinking. I'm thinking a crystal with toys and stuff might be a little bit too much in the events, because then people are going to start going, hold on, you're going to start releasing toys as packs and stuff, whereas a power disc pack will be nice, cheap, and easy to do, especially after what they did with the recent Marvel twin packs and what they did last year with the Toys R Us one. I think power discs kind of, because you could have a cruise ship toy that you sit in and you drive around in a little boat kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had a whole list. I'm going to be next couple days. You'll see a Blue Sky coming up on DizKingdom.com, and I'm going to make I have a outline of a Disney Cruise Line Blue Sky of things I would like to see as Castaway Cay, Sky Dome and Terrain, getting a Sky Dome and Terrain set up for the actual cruise line ship, and stuff like that. Costume discs for Mickey and Donald, stuff like that. So
it's a real kind of line of, I like the idea of what they're doing with the room. This is really going to get kids into the game. This is long-term planning, isn't it? At its foremost.
Oh yeah. This is part of a big revamp of the Disney Dream, because it's not just the article mentioned Disney Infinity, but it also mentioned Star Wars. It mentioned Wreck-It Ralph with Vanellope and her sweet treats. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is finally coming to Disney Cruise Line, and they're actually revamping part of it for the adults. There's a section called Satellite Falls, which is going to be a brand new adult section, and they don't necessarily take these revamps lightly because you can only dry dock the ship for so long until you have to have them back out. So,
Yeah, Abe, anything you want to add on that one?
Yeah, I'm still I'm thinking like distribution wise, how are they going to do this? Is it everybody who goes on a cruise line? Is it? I'm thinking any kid who visits this new room, they might be given like a little, even if it's not Paradise, maybe if it's like a little wristband or something that's different from the Magic Band or something where they take home with them and then they put it on the base. And as far as what Travis is saying. I'm thinking, it's going to be something simple. I don't think it's anything extravagant. If anything, it'll be like 2 toys or something. Like you can unlock a miniature Disney cruise line, cruise liner vehicle, or even like he said, like a costume change disc for certain character. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be too extravagant. I don't think it's going to be something where people are going to be trying to shell out tons of money buying it on eBay or anything. It's probably going to be something simple. It could even be a reskin of a new toy that we would be getting in the game. But otherwise, it's still exciting and it's cool, and it just shows you what direction they might be taking. I mean, even with the theme parks, if they're doing it with the cruise lines, who knows? They might do something with the theme parks eventually. So that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of going to lead on to a conversation we're going to have just after we run through the other little bits of news.
All right, cool.
We're going to talk about locations a bit more in detail. Also this week, one of our website writers, Chris, found some information on the website for a projector. There's 2 of them available. It's a projector flashlight. Kind of slides into the kind of merchandise. And it's all there.
Not to be all negative, but I could really care less. It's just, there's just so many accessories that are coming out little by little. It's great for the kids, don't get me wrong, it's cool. Everybody likes the way the Disney characters look in their Disney Infinity forms. But otherwise, accessories have been such a miss in my opinion, because there's no consistency. The timeline is always off. But other than that, to put a positive, cool. I can totally see kids having fun with these, like having like sleepovers with friends and shining it on the wall and stuff. But that's all it does. It's just, it's not animated. It's not nothing. It's just a little picture.
It kind of reminds me of what you might have got in like the UK free magazines. Of just
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to mention. It's probably something you got already on your magazine.
Yeah, well, no, the magazine's got in the UK.
I think it would have been a lot more effective if these flashlights that contain 1.0 characters came out in 1.0.
Yeah,
that's just nitpicking.
No, it's so true though.
True. It seems like a lot of and it's not just these flashlights. A lot of the books, a lot of the product that's coming out in stores right now, aside from the PDP stuff, all center around 1.0 characters. I haven't seen much with any of the Marvel or the 2.0 characters. A lot of I think we're talking about the graphic novel also coming soon.
Yeah, that leads perfect segue into bring out that story as well. We got a new graphic novel coming out. This one's not out till September 22nd in the US. Released by Joe Books Inc. Priced $9.99. Again, 1.0 stuff.
All 1.0 characters.
It does say here Big Hero 6 in the description. So they obviously linking that in, but it's a very Disney kind of safe stuff.
Also, I mean, I don't know if it's on our topic list, but it kind of still correlates. What about this new Disney Infinity exclusive pin that's going to be in the, what was it,
Oh yes,
the which
Generation
event?
Ear event. Now,
Yeah.
this is slightly different. It's basically, this event is a big trading event that takes place in Epcot in September, and it is kind of it's a big deal for pin collectors, and there's a special, very limited edition pin that is going to be available as part of a package designed by Maria Klapsis, who's a big Vinimation artist as well. This is a limited edition size 300. It's nearly $100. So you get 4 pins: Tron, DuckTales, Kingdom Hearts, and Infinity.
But the thing about the Infinity pin, though, that was kind of correlating to it's Mickey standing in those pillars from 1.0, like the big round section, your starting section. It's still referencing 1.0. It's but yeah, all these accessories and goodies or whatever that are coming out. Yeah, just it's timing has not been on Disney Infinity's side when releasing accessories or any additional variants or whatnot. Travis mentioned PDP, and you cannot talk about PDP and saying the word consistency in the same sentence, because there's
agree.
no album out there that is consistent all the way through 1.0. I mean, we have series that don't have albums. We have the disc folios that you don't have the Disney side. I mean, it is so inconsistent. But I mean, not to be negative or anything, but unfortunately, it's just the accessory side is not too great, to be honest.
Okay. Right. So that I think that kind of leads up the accessory side of things. You got anything to add on that, Travis, before we close off the accessory side?
Well, first off, I am both jealous and happy that Disney included in that pin set. That pin set is a big thing, probably in my opinion, to Disney Infinity, because it brings up 3 rather iconic games over the past years: Tron, the arcade game, which was amazingly popular; the NES DuckTales game, which I don't know any people of my generation that didn't play it. Then you have Kingdom Hearts, and I was never big into Kingdom Hearts, but there are so many people big into Kingdom Hearts. To include Disney Infinity in that pin set, it means something. And I think JV, I was tweeting back and forth with JV, and he acknowledges that was a big thing. And great for them. Sucks because I'll never be able to get that pin set.
LE300 is tiny.
LE300 at $100 for an event that I'm not going to be at, because they got rid of Vinylmation from that event. It's an expensive event to get into before you buy any of the pins.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to be cheap.
No, getting that pin secondary market is going to be next to impossible, because people are not going to want to break up the set, and if they do, that's going to be the second, in my opinion, going to be the second, maybe third most popular pin. I think DuckTales will be the first, and then it'll be a tie between Tron and Disney Infinity.
It's going to be hard to get one. Right. Also, some other quick news. Don't know if you've noticed this, but the official Disney Infinity website has been given a little bit of an overhaul. It's been giving a new look. It's been updated. Now,
I haven't even checked that out yet.
Yeah, it's kind of, they've updated it. There's you might not notice a few differences if they've changed the way the front looks. But what this really does to me is...
Oh,
we're in a child-friendly zone, so I'm going to have to... Yep. You're going to have to put some money in the swear jar for that one.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
We're going to have to bleep you there. We're going to have to...
That was a boop moment. Wow, okay, yeah. We got a new... Okay.
Yeah, so the new website. So, this is where I think everyone automatically is going to jump to, and let's be honest, it's the same thing. You launch a brand new website just as we're all expecting the new information to drop. It is perfect timing. It is... great timing for if you're gonna update the website with some new information. You're going to update the website, aren't you? So this is kind of great news. Just good in general, really. But also there is something I want to just bring to. If you just what do you guys think of this new update? What do you think is going to be there? I'm just going to log in to show something for you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, my swear jar exclamation kind of puts it. It's different. It looks like it has better access to toy boxes, corner toy boxes on the front page.
Right, back in. Okay, so when you've logged into the actual website, now we've said about this in the past about these sort of empty spaces. Right, we've mentioned them before. Right, so you've got the Disney originals and you've got the Marvel superheroes. Now with the Marvel superheroes, there's 5 empty spots, and on the originals there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 empty spots, which doesn't make any sense of why they could be empty. But it just feels, it's like I said, to get into a new website just before some information could be kind of quite interesting. What do you think about that, Abe?
I just think they're empty spots.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. To be honest with you guys, the whole Disney site has been getting revamped. They've been doing updates. And it is kind of interesting that after getting a little overhaul on the Disney Infinity side, to actually see a brand new overhaul, it kind of shows you, like you said, something getting ready to get out of the beta per se. But yeah, it's good. It's the online community uses the site more than they used to, so it makes sense to redo the site, and definitely preps you for what's to come. So I'm assuming something's gonna come up really soon.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to quickly just run through some of this week's toy boxes. They're all based around a stunt course. So we had the Monster Truck Challenge by Vote of Villains, where you basically drive around a monster truck wrestling championship. You've got the Spidey Park by F. Daniel IX, it's Spider-Man Stunt Park. Widow X Stunts, which is by Sonic Photo, where you prove your skills as a shield agent in a motorcycle stunt area. Crazy Dom's Pickup and Delivery by the Baroness 89. You basically drive around collecting a load of cakes. And then you have Rapunzel's and Rex's Birthday Bash by Model Train Man and Mighty Giants. So a big happy birthday to them for that toy box. It was a while ago, but there we go. And there was also a new Blueprint toy box for the puzzles, and episode 4 of the Toy Box Tales, which are Spider-Man. All of which videos will be up on the YouTube channel of all those toy boxes. I played through them all yesterday. What do you guys think of those toy boxes if you've had a chance to play them?
I think they're cool. I like the fact that we're starting to see more of the stunt implements. I mean, I missed seeing those back in the Monsters Inc. days. I mean, you had so much going on, and then Cars with the stunt park. But as far as the collaborations go, I like the new toy boxes when 2 of the creators are working together. It kind of shows you what, for example, Meningitis was doing before, and then somebody else was doing, and the collaborations together just kind of gives you a new aspect on what they're capable of building. I don't know what you think, Travis.
Collaboration has always been in some of these teams. Some of these people that you think are one person are actually 2, possibly even 3. As we found out at the Toy Box Summit last year, there was a pair of brothers from Europe, and then there was actually a family of 2 parents and a daughter, and they all worked together, and you kind of didn't realize that until the Toy Box Summit. So a lot of these single, individual Toy Box artists, now that everything's being revamped and everyone's stepping up their game, they decided to find a way to team up online. It's a little difficult, from what I understand, to having these toy boxes where you can share them without everyone seeing them.
Yeah.
In the process, but it's a great idea. Congratulations to these guys. I know that the Disneyland, Frontierland, and Adventureland one, most of the top toy boxes were collaborative efforts.
Yeah,
so
I think there's just been a general feeling of that they've been able to work together to make better toy boxes quicker by working together, and let's not be, the Toy Box Summit fever is in full swing. There is still a huge drive for a lot of the toy box artists with the Toy Box Summit that happened last year. Where they sort of announced that they were flying people out to the Avalanche places. So kind of an expectation that's going to be taking place again this year. And I think it's driving a lot of toy box artists to really up their game. It's making a really good toy boxes consistently because they want to be continuously featured. And I think it's been if it's one thing that Toy Box Summit has done, which I think has really worked in Disney's favor, is it's really kind of inspired a lot of toy box artists to really just keep going, to master the craft, and just to keep trying to get those top 5 toy boxes.
But at the same time, Roger and Abe, honestly, if they do have the Toy Box Summit this year, I'm wondering when they're going to have it. Because last year, it was the same weekend as D23 is this year.
Yeah. And
you can't have it too late in the season because you have school.
No.
And you can't have it too early in the season because that conflicts with stuff like San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So,
it's just one of those things. Until we know dates of when the game's out, we can then kind of sort of. But if the Toy Box Summit happens again this year, it's a big reward for all the major toy box artists that are really kind of, essentially at the minute that there's a lot of the content is. All the best stuff is being created by the community, and if it wasn't for the community, there really wouldn't be a lot of stuff out there to play. And there's a huge difference between what I'd call like these submissions for the weekly challenges and just somebody messing about and uploading a toy box.
Oh, I agree.
Speaking of which, Roger, when's the last time you made top 5?
Like December.
Yeah, come on, buddy, let's pick it up.
Yeah, I'm doing a toy box every week. Every week.
We really can't talk, dude.
Oh, I totally can talk.
Right,
that's all I can do is talk.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
We actually had a question on Twitter yesterday from Ty Martin, and he said. He asked me, what is your process for building a toy box in a general broad expression? I know, but could you talk about it? So this is a question. I put out a tweet yesterday on Diz Kingdom to sort of see if anyone had any questions before we recorded this. And so I thought I'd just quickly go in this as we're on this toy box mode. Usually,
all right, wait, can you repeat the question one more time so
yes,
I know what to say?
The question was, Roger, what is your process for building a toy box? Just a general explanation.
Oh, are they asking you or are they asking us?
They're asking. Well, the question was Roger, so I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
we really don't. We really my process of building a toy box is I can't. So.
No, I have plenty. I just haven't submitted them. But go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you have those weekly challenge lists that come up. So you pick the ones that I like the look of. For example, this week is Puzzle Week. I suck at puzzles, so I avoided that one. So first off, I try to come up with an idea. Come up with a basic idea of what I want to make. This is kind of sometimes the hardest thing. Sometimes I've even gone the opposite way. I've kind of started building and just kind of themed it afterwards. But usually it's this kind of thing of work out the space, work out what I need, and build a few central points that I want to use. But I literally start off with the idea and what I want to produce and do all the logic at the beginning. I almost build the game first to work out how it's going to work and make sure that's all working properly. So if I need to collect 5 this or smash this or get that, that's how I approach it, because I like to make sure the game's working first rather than build this beautiful, great big toy box and then I haven't got any graphic space or computer memory to put all the logic in, and you can't find the stuff because you've hidden it somewhere. So it's a lot easier to build all your logic at once, all next to each other, and then you move them to where you want them later, and you can hide all your logic back. So that's how I approach it personally. Is I like to do all my logic at the beginning and then start working on the theming afterwards, and get to a certain point, and then I think it's that thing with the weekly challenge is it kind of scrunches you down. So you either got, right, okay, I've got like 4 or 5 days to work on it, or you might even go, well, I'm going to work on this toy box for a few weeks and for that one there. So that's kind of how I approach it first off, is come up with the idea, put down a general layout, and then start working on the logic, and then do all the decorations and stuff afterwards. So that was the answer to Ty for that one. Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
I don't know if we can add anything, but
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about location exclusives. So we're talking about locations, and this could be, like we said before, with the Disney Cruise Line, also Walt Disney World. But I'm also going to throw retailer country exclusives into the same sort of ball pit, because to me, going to Toys R Us or GameStop, it's kind of a location you've got to go to get it. So I'm going to throw this one straight over to Abe, and just what do you think of as location exclusives as a general idea?
General idea. Let's see. Location exclusives. I think they're okay. And the key is they have to be done properly. If
Hold on a second, we're just having a little technical issue there. Travis, do you want to just say yours a minute?
Oh yeah, I'm all for location exclusives. I'm not a stranger to that. Vinylmation has had it. Disney Pins are location exclusive. It's just something that I could see Disney Infinity going into no problem. It might upset a lot of people. But it's a way of giving people that went to certain areas, went on certain trips, went to certain places, a feeling that, I not accomplished something, but I got something for being there. I mean, there are whole games. Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom is all based in one park. It's just Magic Kingdom. And people clamor online for cards and stuff like that. Yeah, it might suck for the secondary market, trying to get this stuff later, but I think it's bound to happen, and we're seeing retailers like, Funko announce that they're going to have theme park exclusives for Disney, and that is big because that's a big retailer that's not making stuff specifically for Disney parks, saying we're making stuff for Disney parks also. So.
Yep, Abe, do you want to try again? Yep. See if his internet settled down. Yeah, the internet settled down.
Okay.
Start again.
Well, what I was saying is location exclusives are definitely a good thing. They definitely work, especially if they're done properly. And let's start off, obviously, with the Toys R Us exclusive that we had in 1.0 with the crystals, and the Paradiscs. It was cool. It's just the whole release of the Paradiscs seemed to be not done properly. But as far as, just retailer, we're talking about location, we're talking about retailers. Like GameStop having their own little collector's version of a figure, or obviously the PS Vita version with the Black Suit Spider-Man. It's cool. It's as long as it's not something huge where somebody's missing out on something. Now let's also talk about console exclusive. For example, not having Sam and Cora for the consoles. That exclusive kind of doesn't really work in my opinion, because you are leaving out a huge chunk of your fan base. So something like that will definitely need to be perfected as far as keeping it fair for everybody. Now, as far as going to a cruise line or a theme park, as long as it's not something extravagant, like a Paradisc or a toy, as long as it's not an actual figure, then that's great. Disney Infinity could totally work off of plenty of exclusives, and like Travis said, a lot of events and a lot of other retailers live off of releasing an exclusive, and that's honestly the direction that everybody takes. So it makes sense for Infinity to do it. just again, as long as they don't do it with figures, kind of like Skylanders does it, and it's just a big mess with all the variants that people can't obtain for Skylanders. And there was one more thought that I had. As far as country exclusives, that's a little messed up. I wasn't really happy with the whole situation for everybody else not being able to get the Captain Marvel and the Falcon costume change. But honestly, I don't think it's a permanent thing. I still feel like it was something that was just last minute or wasn't handled properly. But if you're releasing a game worldwide, you got to make sure you make everything available for everybody worldwide. I mean, exclusives obviously don't work for that situation, and I guess it kind of makes sense. But to say it's country exclusive, it's unfortunate for gamers like like you, Roger, who are in the UK. But no, I say bring on the location exclusives. I mean, definitely at least a Disney park. Just have them in the Disney parks. That's fine, or even in the Disney store. But that's it. Don't go crazy and start releasing something that's not available to everybody at a BAM. Which is a store in the East Coast store or Midwest. That's nothing out here in California. But anyways, whatever. That's just my thoughts.
I think with exclusives as a whole, there is a kind of a real there's a big list of fors and there's a big list of against. So there's lots of reasons why retailers and parks do it, because they want the reason to go into that store or to that location to pick up a specific item. If it's at a specific event, then it sells well at that event and it's gone. However, from the other side, if you are nowhere near where these exclusives are, you haven't got the store near you, you can't get to Disneyland, you can't go on a cruise line, you live in another country, it can be very, very frustrating to have content that you can't have when they make it big. So to me, there's a real kind of difference between the core product of, for example, with Disney Infinity, the power discs and the figures and play sets are a core product that everyone has. And Disney have been very open about the fact that they don't want to be down the Amiibo or Skylander variant line. They want everything available to everybody. And then you have the exclusive content, those recent collector's edition boxes, or an album, or those kind of retailer exclusives. To me, they don't bother me personally. If an album comes out and it's only in Walmart and then another album's only in Target, they're not making a huge difference to everybody. It's a nice little touch if they can get them out at launch. That would be a good start. But that's where that's it. But it is very, very frustrating when you're on the other end and you can't get stuff without having to pay for the nose. Those 2 power discs that came out recently, I had to ship them, Travis picked them up for me in the US, so I had to pay double the price just to have them shipped to me, which they were in that's a core game. That's a core game piece that's available in my Hall of Heroes. I can see those items. That is, if it's hidden and you don't see it in the Hall of Items or something like that, it's one thing. But if you can see it and you can't get access to it, it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, if they would have been in your the collection gallery, then that wouldn't have been an issue. But because they were in the Hall of Superheroes, yeah, that it's kind of like an eyesore. So yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, the one thing I might go against you guys in saying with figures is, well, we know that Disney Infinity originally planned Sorcerer Mickey to be a theme park exclusive. That fell through, and he ended up being a widespread release. But there are certain characters that I feel, if they were released retail-wide, they would flop.
Yeah.
But if they were released within the parks, my favorite being Figment. If Figment was released retail-wide, you would see Figments on the shelves everywhere. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't even know who he is. But if you release a Figment character specifically for theme parks, where people can go to that theme park and pick it up, I feel he would be a success. They would have to make it in lesser numbers, but people would get it, and it would be a dedicated fan base.
Yeah. But then my counter argument to that would be if they put it on DisneyStore.com at the same time, they could get around that problem.
But a lot of things are ending up there. But still, that would be a retail. That's an extension of the Disney theme park.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, if you do something like that, and this is my issue with it, if you do something like that, your biggest issue is limits, and you said you release it in smaller quantities. What's going to happen is you're going to have people going to these theme parks buying like 20 of them, 30 of them.
Did you see that picture of that woman
and selling out? What? Say that again.
There was that picture of that person with about 30 to 50 Cinderella popcorn buckets on. They literally, this bloke ran into the park, picked up all these Cinderella popcorn buckets from every single and he was walking around with, it looked like bags on his shoulders from just going in and buying them all up. And that's what would happen.
That's the only thing I'm afraid of, because Disney Infinity, the cool thing about Disney Infinity is that there are people who are completionists and don't necessarily, play the game per se, but they love to have all the figures, and then that's going to create the secondary market. That's the issue we have with Funko, is because people love these things that they really want to get them all, and what people do is they go in, buy them all, and then they sell them for 3 or 4 times the price in the secondary market. And
it's gonna happen with these theme park exclusives coming up for Funko. That's no doubt.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if you release these Funko, they're coming out with 4. If you release these 4 nationwide, they would probably be a flop.
Yeah, no, there's I can see exactly where you're coming from on that point. The other side to this kind of exclusive stuff is, for example, like, we had console exclusive with that collector's base for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Yeah. Hulk was a timed exclusive to the PlayStation 4 for a month. And then we have the other big, we have Tron and Korra, which were exclusive to the app, the digital version. And then finally we've got the Black Suit Spider-Man, which is exclusive to the Vita version coming out next month. Now, and
exclusive to GameStop.
Yes. So the Spider-Man in the US, the Spider-Man one really is kind of the real kind of thing. If people are going, well, hold on, it's exclusive to a store and it's exclusive to a starter pack. That is pretty exclusive.
It's still not going to make me buy it.
And I think we were talking about this on the Infinity Beyond Facebook group, and we were going back and forth on, are they going to release it eventually as a single carded? I think, at least here in the US, there would be 2 hurdles to go through. You would need to get PlayStation's approval, who paid for it to be part of the Vita, and then GameStop would have to either decide to be the exclusive distributor of that 3.0 or whatever, whenever they release it, probably in 3.0 if they did, the Black Suit Spider-Man character singularly, or are they going to make it retail wide? So there's a lot of hurdles to go through. Personally, I think it's going to remain, it's just a variant. I think it's going to remain in the PS Vita form, and unless we pick up a cheap PS Vita game system, we're not going to get it. But
no, it opens up another discussion, which I've been asking people, and I don't think so. But do you guys think that the Black Suit Spider-Man variant will have its own pedestal in the Hall of Superheroes? I say no, because they're holograms. So what do you guys think?
I think I don't know. I think when you put it down, it will probably come up. It wouldn't surprise me if at the last minute update before, just to unlock it like we did with some of the other characters. It wouldn't be that much stretch. But also, I think just in general, I think that we will see Black Suit Spider-Man as a single figure probably late in the 3.0 cycle.
Pedestal, Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I just think you look at Crystal Mickey of what happened with him. I just think they aren't going to leave that money on the table. There might be an exclusive for 2.0 for Vita, but they can get around that the minute they go to 3.0.
But at the same time, they released none of the crystals in 1.0 that were released in Toys R Us exclusives as 2.0 characters nationwide.
The only thing that's different to me is because it's in part of a starter pack. And people are requesting it, and Disney are going to be going, we can make some money off of this.
Okay.
I just think it's a slightly different issue because picking up a crystal characters, you can still pick one up. For people to go and buy a Vita version just to get the figure is an expensive purchase. Abe, you want to chime in on that one?
I mean, just to go get, the variant for what's it retailing at $50? I think
$60 in the US. Yeah, about
60
£40 in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough for those who are like diehard Disney Infinity fans and they don't have a Vita. It's not something that I feel like they're gonna shell out $60 for. I'm sure it's something that they'll keep an eye on.
Yeah.
On the GameStop, website or the weekly ad to see if there's a sale. But other than that, I don't see it. I don't see it being a hot ticket item that sells out quickly, that you'll never be able to obtain, and that it's rare. It's just, I honestly think it's going to collect dust, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, the only thing is with the Vita now, there's not a huge amount of big games, big sort of what I call like big games that aren't indie. There's not a lot of choice out there so Vita owners that are probably going to be clamoring at the bit to get hold of this. It is fun playing it on. I've been playing it on Remote Play. I can see, this is kind of thing for Vita owners. It is a big deal to have this game coming out. It is way too late. If this had happened, I think if this come out in like November last year, everyone would be a different discussion. But I think there's a lot of people hoping it will drop like the other Toy Box starter pack or like the other starter packs, so people can pick up that figure. But I think it might be a few months before we see any major reductions on that one.
I will say that since the whole, in my opinion, debacle with the collector's edition or the collector's edition, because all of a sudden there was a shortage when we got them, when they first were released, and now they were like in droves. GameStop had them on sale for $90, and even Amazon had them on sale for like 2 weeks ago for a few hours. That's how fast they went. For like $50, I think it was like 57 something. It makes me treat every special release or special edition starter pack differently, because we don't know anymore. It's not necessarily as collectors as we thought or as special as we thought. So I'm going to think twice about buying it at full price.
Well, the only thing is, I'm looking at like the Vita version. It's £40. So I'm thinking, well, if I take off £15 for the figure, because that's what it would cost me if it was in the shops on day one. So therefore, the game's costing me £25. So
that's not bad.
So so that's about $40. So I'm looking at it going, well, that if I took away the actual figure, and then you've got the toy box game discs, and you've got the playset piece. So if you break it down into bits, it doesn't look quite as bad. I think there's going to be a flood of if you're after the Vita game and not too bothered about Spider-Man, you're going to be finding plenty on like eBay with people trying to sell them. I know we had a few people question going, well, will people be selling? No one's going to buy the black suit Spider-Man Vita pack and then sell the figure. It's just that's not really going to work. I can't see it working that way around. It's going to be a bit like how we did it with the toy box starter packs, where loads of us brought them just for the figures and then sold the game afterwards.
There might be a bunch of you might get a few of those flippers out there that will take the investment and then break everything apart and try to get a lot more money for the Spider-Man. People not realizing, I can just go out and buy the starter pack.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. I don't know. It's just, I think there's this, it's like with that collector's edition. Did they then run it because of the success of it? Did they run a second run of it, hoping that it would continue?
They would have to. That's the only thing I can think of. They must have did the batch, and I think it was maybe not necessarily Disney Infinity's call. I think it might have been more of PlayStation's call, because I believe was it PDP that made that collector's edition?
I don't know, to be honest.
But they can just buy all that stuff from Disney and then repackage everything. So it's not like Disney Infinity has to be involved in the actual creation of that starter pack.
Yeah.
Because it's all just packaged up, bundled together.
My only thing with, I really do hope that we get some kind of collector's edition for 3.0, but please not as big. That thing it just takes up the huge...
Oh, you mean this thing?
Yeah, I mean, mine's still in the box on top of the wardrobe because my wife won't let it. It's too ugly.
This beautiful, beautiful thing?
Yeah, it's just so colossally out of place, isn't it?
But yeah, if we think we have replaced this with the Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get a Death Star, so it's gonna be pretty huge.
A Death Star? So they're all going to be riding in their own vehicles? Abe?
No, you open it up, and they're all actually going to be recreating a scene on the
Death
inside.
Star, and you open up the Death Star. Oh.
Yeah, see, check that out.
That reminds me of my Castle Grayskull when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
That's big, Roger.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's this whole thing with, like, I've got no problem with timed exclusives. I don't think that was, like the thing that happened with the Hulk, or some of there's been quite a few different figures that are retailer exclusive. I think wasn't in the US, like Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope were exclusive timed periods. I don't have a problem with that if they announce it ahead of time. It's this not announcing stuff which annoys people.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope were Best Buy exclusives, and they were timed, and then afterwards they came out everywhere. So,
I think a telltale sign will be D23 of this year, because JV hinted in the game trailers interview that expect something big D23. So I'm expecting either an exclusive character or an exclusive variant character, because they did the D23 Mickey, and he kind of said, "Well, you ain't seen nothing. Basically, you ain't seen nothing yet."
Yeah. You're getting a black suit Spider-Man.
Right. You have a black suit Spider-Man. You get a black suit Spider-Man. Everyone. It's like Oprah with the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh no, but, everyone gets a free Nick Fury or Iron Fist figure.
See, I actually have a different take on this, but go ahead, keep going, Travis.
I just think, well, we don't know anything right now. We don't know release date. We don't know blah blah blah. There is something coming. That's for sure. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten the Disney Cruise Line announcement if things weren't in the works for something new.
Yeah.
Depending on when release date is, we're getting a mid-August D23.
Yeah.
1.0 was released a week or so after D23 in 2013. And that's when we found out about all the beautiful Disney characters, and they gave out the toy box only characters, and they gave out Sorcerer Mickey. So
it depends if they go with the September release date like they did last year.
Yeah, it depends. If it's August release date, I think it's going to be a bigger thing for D23 than if we get a September release date. But we don't know the release date. But I think D23 could be a big push for the game. If it's only a week or so later.
Yep, Abe, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I'm thinking early release on D23. I'm thinking people who attend are going to get the opportunity to buy the game early and play it early. That's my take on why it's going to be so big. Are we going to get an exclusive variant figure? That's highly possible. I mean, Sorcerer Mickey D23 only has silver stars, so it's like that's the only variant.
It's not an in-game variant, yeah.
Yeah, it's not in game. It's
I mean,
just a paint variant.
yeah, I mean, I look at that D23 variant as very much along the lines of they really didn't seem to know what they were doing with that. That was a very kind of a, I don't know. It just seemed it wasn't packaged properly. They didn't. The game hadn't been released, so they didn't really know what they were doing as well with it. Now they're 3 games in, or 2-3 games in. They've got a much better idea of how to play this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't I mean, unless no, it's gonna be so close to release. And like I said, I still think we might get an early release. I mean, everything's gonna be properly packaged there because the last thing you want to do is go to E3 and get like the correct packaging, and then you're gonna reveal all your characters in the back. So it's the last thing you can do. That's why I think Sorcerer Mickey was put in a little bag because he wasn't supposed to come out until December.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, January or whatever. And also he was limited to 5,000, I think, even though none of them were numbered individually, and not to mention there was I think so many made that I think even Travis got some on the release in Toys R Us back when the. Yeah, well, they were giving them out there anyways. It was on the website. Don't shut.
Yeah, I know they were giving them out to D23 members and for people that bought it day one. And Times Square Toys R Us did get.
Yeah, they announced on their Twitter they were giving them out. So yeah,
I know.
But anyways, point being is that D23. I mean, they're gonna definitely. I have a feeling they're gonna have a bigger piece of the expo floor because I remember the D23 2013. It was big, just not too big. I mean, they did have the Cinderella coach with the monster truck wheels, which is cool. But they only had, I think there was like maybe 6 play stations, not the actual consoles, but like stations to play. And that's it. Aside from the line where you had to go and push a button and they played a little trailer of a character, and that's the character you got to take home with you. But it's gonna be awesome.
No, I think there's I think this is, like I said, it keeps going back to this exclusive thing of Disney. I do not have a great reputation for the concept of exclusives. You get to that point with them where they're so hit and miss. They can be exclusive, and then the next minute they appear somewhere else. 1 minute one exclusive might be really hard to get, but the next one will be discounted in the future because they made too many. That's what confuses people with exclusives, because of this. They're often so messy, and I think that's the biggest problem with exclusives is the messiness of it. They're not announcing anything properly. The way
if they do these exclusives perfectly and they execute them, they have the plan down pat. They could be pretty big. They could be pretty popular because again, obviously, allegedly, Star Wars. Even though everybody knows it's it, but Star Wars is very popular. It's extremely popular. Not to mention, it's picking up steam. I mean, you have 3 generations now of families. Like I said, going droves of people going to Star Wars Celebration and a lot of people are jumping on. If they weren't fans before, they're definitely fans now. And if these exclusives are done properly, they're going to be a hot ticket item and they're going to be hard to get. So, we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Anything you want to add before we wrap up this week's show?
Are you asking me or Travis?
Both, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm still thinking.
If you want to add, just keep an eye out. I mean, obviously, capital M on May, but otherwise, if you guys see something, go ahead and let us know because we're still waiting for news. Hopefully, we'll find something out sooner or later. But no, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, I think on that subject, it's just that kind of thing of we've got to be maybe a little bit more open to the fact of just because they did something last year doesn't mean they're going to follow the exact same path. They can completely freshen it up, do it completely different. The last 1.0 and 2.0 launches were 2 very, very differently handled. doesn't mean 3.0 is going to be done the exact same way as 2.0. I'm just going to throw that out there as a thought.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Roger. You and I were talking before we got live on air, and I was around for the 1.0. I first met JV at the Taste of Chicago, of all places, where they had that same little 6-console setup that Abe experienced at D23, set up in the back corner in a field in Chicago. And then the release event was 2 massive days in New York City. And then 2.0, their major announcement was this major event with Marvel, and we personally knew 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time, because I was able to get a bunch of our listeners and Abe and a couple of my other friends in as guests. They opened it up for people. It was big. It was at the Cinemadrome, right, Abe?
Yeah, that's right.
It was at a big event, and we knew weeks ahead of time. If it's really May, which is next week, not even next week, in 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days is when May starts. If it was a big event, we would have known by now, I think. I mean, so are they going to pull a quick event where they're going to just have some major news outlets, IGN and stuff like that? Or are they going to just do what Lego Dimensions did and just drop the trailer one day and say, here you go, have fun?
Yeah. I think it's down to costs. You know, those events aren't cheap, and whether or not they actually gain the steam they want. Nowadays, they could just literally whack up a Twitch stream and a couple of tweets from Avalanche Studios, and they've got themselves an announcement event. They don't need to do it as big as maybe as they've done it in the past.
Well, I mean, it's quite obvious that, if something's happening in May, and if it's huge on Star Wars, we obviously know that what day to look at, because it is something that's been growing, and it is something that's bigger. And I know the Disney Store is having an event for May the 4th, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of makes sense, especially since it's the official Star Wars day. But again, we have no indication whatsoever. But that's the day that everybody's going to be looking at.
I mean, everyone was kind of looking at Celebration in that same way. So
yeah.
It's a bit like, well, we might not necessarily kind of. I don't want to put all my hopes on May 4th now, because we've already done Celebration where that kind of came and went.
And see, the only reason why I'm like adamant on that is, like, you already have Nintendo, who made their announcement. Lego decided to dive in deep and just say, hey, look, we're the new kid in town. And obviously I'm surprised Skylanders hasn't said anything yet. But point being is that if we were to get anything, we should have got it at Star Wars Celebration. But now it's sometime in May, and I think that's the best day to look at. Travis, what do you think?
They're confusing me, because Disney had a huge media event, Toy Fair, for the past 2 years. I was not able to go to 2013's. I was able to go to 2014's, and it was awesome. 2015, nobody from Disney was there. Nobody.
Wow.
I quickly realized that a lot of them were holding off for Star Wars Celebration. And a lot of what they probably would have announced at Toy Fair, they announced at Star Wars Celebration. Not all of it. Hasbro really hasn't come out with their big plans, and we saw the trailer for The Force Awakens, but we haven't really seen much more as far as content. So I'm confused as to where all this is coming and when, because I'm chomping at the bit, and I guess Hasbro's now going to wait until either San Diego Comic-Con, but you can't wait until E3 for some of this stuff with Disney, because it's going to be so late in the summer, in my opinion.
No. And just to piggyback off of that, E3 is where you showcase stuff. Every game developer wants to showcase, so they have to announce before E3. That's June 14th to the 16th, I think. So definitely has to be before then. But yeah, anyways, carry on, Travis. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I just, it seems like there is not a cohesiveness as far as how Disney is approaching Star Wars this year, and it might be affecting things like Disney Infinity. I feel like Star Wars is a linchpin on a lot of announcements from Disney this year.
The thing is, you've got to forget. You could, like we've said before, we could just be having 3.0 Frozen edition, so we don't need to worry.
Okay.
And also,
I predicted that. So
and also, you've got a major movie coming out in the US this weekend. I've already seen because.
Frozen 2?
Yeah.
Right.
You've got the big Avengers. They could throw everybody off. It's Marvel 3.0. Even more Marvel superheroes, and just like it's that thing of we just.
Honestly, I think people would riot.
Yeah,
Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, Rescue Rangers. Now that's a cool idea. But no, I just, this is kind of thing of, everyone assumes Star Wars, but we still have kind of,
no,
we're still
you're
in
right.
that zone of just because there could be so many disappointed people on May 4th sitting there on Twitter going, where is it? It might not come. It might come on a random Tuesday afternoon in the middle of May kind of thing, or
random Tuesday afternoon.
Well, anyways, my final two thoughts. That way we can finish. First, actually, yeah, they're my last points here. My first point is Chewie, we're home. And my second point is DuckTales. That's it.
What?
That's how I wanted to end the whole thing.
You go off of your final 2 points are a tagline in a movie that we think might be in Disney Infinity. And
okay, Travis, like 2 months ago when we used to end the show by saying DuckTales, you were all for it. Now you're just like,
nah.
All right,
no,
did you lose your memory?
May the 4th be with you is the way we end it now.
Yeah, may the 4th be with you guys. All right, anyways.
Yeah, no, DuckTales is great. I was shocked we haven't brought it up yet. I did bring up DuckTales earlier, didn't I? Yes. So.
Anyways, my last point, which was the real point, was May the 4th is my prediction.
Yes.
What are you guys?
Well, May 4th is next Monday, so yes, should be interesting. So, could be an interesting day. And then of course nothing happens.
Right.
The thing is, as well as Disney have got to get ahead. They've got to get ahead of Lego. Pre-orders are out. Everything else is out. And if they want to spread the news out, because if everything comes out all on the same days with different companies like E3, etc., and Celebration was a perfect example. They got to spread the news out. Otherwise, it just wouldn't even get covered.
Roger, will there be a Hulkbuster?
Oh, I really hope so. I really hope there's a Hulkbuster. That would be such an awesome variant. It is just. It would be. Maybe that's the collector's edition. There's a great big Hulkbuster, but a playable character.
Now, if you were if Hulkbuster was a variant, would he be a variant of Hulk, or would he be a variant of Iron Man?
It's Iron Man. It's Iron Man. They don't put Hulk in it.
But see, the thing is,
Hulkbuster is named Hulkbuster because he fights against Hulk.
I understand that, but the skins don't change the size of the character.
No, it'd be a whole new skin.
No, yeah. It'll be an actual variant of Iron Man, but it'll be a completely different sculpt.
It'll be different characters.
It'll be an actual figure, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a figure, yeah. A completely different sculpt.
The scene with it in is simply amazing. It's just fantastic.
Oh, my Funko, my new Funko guy is right over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
mine's en route. Matt's got mine. It's en route.
Abe, have you seen it?
Not in person yet, but it's en route too, I think, for me. So
awesome.
Yes. Right. I think that pretty much is going to wrap up this week's show. Stay tuned to the website, thiskingdom.com, and all of our social medias, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc., because any news coming out, we'll be breaking it and going through it all. But yeah, big thank you to Travis for staying up, for coming and speaking to us. And thanks again to Abe as per usual. Look at him standing there in front of, and he's just standing there in front of that Hollywood sign, going, "Yes, I'm here."
May the fourth be with you.
Oh yes, indeed it is. Ooh, ah.
Oh,
Lisa wants to be in Infinity.
Are you coming in here at all? Not
Yes, there's
with
going
my
to be a
Haribo.
Jar Jar Binks. There's going to be a Jar Jar Binks in Disney Infinity. I hope you all enjoy it.
No, that's 5.0. Gotta spread the love.
Poor Jar Jar.
the playset is going to be Jar Jar and Olaf going crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Right, I think that pretty much is going to wrap up this week's show. So we're going to tag out at this point. Again, big thank you to everyone for tuning in. And that's pretty much wraps it up, guys.
As they say in the UK, laters.
Laters. It's so good that I've managed to get this like Somerset tone to the you two guys. I've got know it. Laters.
Laters. Laters.
Laters.